Right, time to start stories, I suppose. Just got to get this lorry out of this situation. I mean, in Park Royal. Get back to my depot. Right, so bear with me a minute. Let's thread this trailer through this greasing gap. Oh, I've got a bit of rubber now. More than I thought I had. One's going to let me out now. Holds it for a bit, it's boring, isn't it? Right. Okay, so my name's John and I'm from Enfield, Brimsdown, Enfield, EN3, and I grew up down there, and so did all my mates, and we all went to the local primary school, Brimsdown Primary, and then most of us did. Me and my mates were all sort of different ages, so some were older than me, some were younger than me, by a year or two, so was roughly the same age. 65 I was born, 55 then, and we had a great time growing up back then. It was just brilliant. You know, everyone knew everybody. There was real community spirit back then, and if you wanted to find someone, you knew where to go and find them. Like, you know, as you got older, you knew what pub they went in, or where if they was fixing something, like everyone was fixing things back then, you knew what garage they'd been working at, things like that. So it was really good, you know. All that's gone now. I ain't gonna get into all that, but yeah, and so we've sort of all met each other started about 1977. Now we all went to Scouts. And I, you know, something, oh, dip, blah, blah, blah. I loved it, and so we all did. And we used to go camping and go out on hikes and other things called wide games, which we was just running around in the middle of the night up in Artic, throwing flower bombs at each other. Like, you know, I was only like 12 years old, and snatch squads coming at you. It's brilliant, you know, all that stuff. And I think back on it, it's magical. So yeah, I've joined up the Scouts in 77, and I started meeting people that I knew from school. Like there was Darren and Wayne. They went to my Brimsdown school. They lived just down the road of me, and that's when kind of we started to become mates. And me and Darren went to the same school, and it's just like, it's, you know, the peripherals of that. And my mate Sav, I met him at Scouts 43 years ago. Still mates now. Darren's still mates with him. He's in Australia. Everyone's moved around a bit, and we've lost a few on the way as well. I won't go into all that right now. So it's me. I'm John, or Jock, as I was known. It's got an Irish surname. Yeah, worked that one out. I was at school, and my surname's horrendous. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And it was just like, they're trying to register, and everyone's pissing themselves off. You know, try going to school with a name like that. Oh, God, mental. Even the teachers used to laugh. You know what I mean? So I got sort of pinned up against the wall one day by the bullies, and they said to me, "What are you, a Mick or a Paddy?" Because of all the IRA. So, what a fancy coming clean and telling me it was Irish. No. I said, a job. Not me, got a paddy, fucking hell. A job or a paddy. So I said a job, but I weren't lying because my mum's parents were both from Scotland. My gran was from the Gorbals in Glasgow, and my granddad was from Stirling. And so on the other side, doing the family bit, my dad's dad, he was from County Kerry in Ireland. And tragically, he got killed in the Second World War, very young, 23 years old. He was already in the Territorial Army, in the Royal Fusiliers, City of London Regiment, and he was a corporal. He was a rifle instructor. And he was in the actual territorial unit, and when the invasion of Poland took place, he got called up straight away, and he got sent up to guard the Dutch border, and they just dug in trenches, and he got killed. We don't know how. And there you go. So my nan had to bring up my dad without his father, so she put him into her mum's house, which had 7 brothers, I think she had. Loads of them, and they just took him under his wing, and she sorted herself out, I think, and she remarried us. I think it was 7 years later. So I never understood why my surname was different than my nan's name, you know. I was asking questions where his name came from. And I was told one day, I got a big bag of stuff, letters and photos, it's heartbreaking. Anyway, so that's basically, and I've got a brother, Nigel, he's 4 years younger than me, and we're a pair of, right, just when we get together we can't stop laughing. He's got a silly sense of humour, and I love it. It's never going to change. I mean, I was on the phone yesterday, and I was crying, literally crying with laughter, just talking nonsense, because that's what we used to do when I was younger. And yeah, so and I've got all my mates. So I've got Darren and Wayne. They live down the road to me, and their mum and dad were successful. They got pub business, like cabaret and all that. And then Steve Mason round the corner to me, mates with him, and there was another Steve Cunningham. Sadly, no longer with us. And they've got Sev, I mentioned earlier, met him at Scouts, still mates with him. Al boy, he's still about, he's driving wagons now. They got Marty, he's down in Australia, and he was a carpet fitter, and I went to work with him, and yeah, he taught me how to fit carpets. Yeah, it was good. He knocked the corners off me because I was working in a factory and going nowhere. So I ended up doing that. Anyway, so I'm sort of jumping around all over the place. But yeah, Marty was mental. He was mental. And then we got Darren Moon. Darren. Oh, I'm going to do that. Knock that bit off. Don't want to give that a surname really, but I'll bleep that out. So we had DBM and DBY, 2 down boys, we should call them. And our boy, and that was like, and so she's got me, Sam, Darren and Wayne, our boy, and now I've got what's my surname. And we all went to Scouts, and we all kind of met Scouts, and then we had, then there's Oggy. He lived round the corner to everybody. We met him, still mates with him now, going out mountain biking with me, him and Sav, still go out. Ain't been out this year, but we do go out, it's brilliant. I love it. We'll give up smoking, see? We'll do things like that. So if you smoke, give it up, because things are better without it, trust me. And then we got peripherals, so we had Gary, bless him, no longer with us. Now Gary was just like a ledge, and the stories involving him I can't even talk to her without laughing, even thinking about him 30 odd years later, because it just, he was just, you know, unreal. He was such a boy, it was unreal. Motorbikes and crosses, you know, up the skullduggery, all kinds of stuff, capers, fucking capers. Anyway, so and then he got Paul, his mate, up here he is, and he just goes on and on, like, going deeper into it, so, and then, so there's like 2 areas of Enfield we grew up in, where we all lived, and it was divided by the Artic Road, and that Artic Road runs obviously from Artic, and it goes right down to London Bridge, the same path all the way down. And so when we was younger, we had like nicknames for it. So so east of the Artic Road was, getting right, Boneville, and west of the Artic Road was Knobville. So the Artic Road is where all the shops were. So if you lived down on Brimsdown, you went up towards the Artic Road, so you went up the top. And if you lived on the other side of the Artic Road, down towards the A10, you went towards the shops, you went down the bottom. So it was like a little bit of rivalry there. And we had a pub on the corner of Green Street called the Top House. Yeah. There's some story coming out of that, but I've got to try and keep all this flowing. So and it was just, yeah, it was just madness really. We was all young and we had motorbikes. We used to tear our ass around the street racing each other, just going mad really. And then some of the lads, like Stainless, he liked the 350 LC, and he used to take a bastard file to the exhaust ports to make them go faster. And he used to be able to beat like Z1s on it, and we used to fucking go down the A10 near the Enfield Creme, and there was a footbridge, and these blokes used to hear about his LC, this 350 LCs, and they'd come down to the kebab shop where we used to wang about and challenge him for a burn. It was fucking brilliant. I had a 125 GP 125 Suzuki. So we all used to ride down here, climb up on the bridge, and they used to start at the A10 Carways Lane lights, just flat out launch. It's a drag race basically, the Dell as we called it, where the bridge was. And we just stand out there watching them come through like 120s and everything. And because the LC was a 2-stroke, it was just a big cloud of blue smoke coming out the back. It was brilliant, it was so exciting, no speed cameras, nothing like that. And these Z1s, they were like, you know, well rapid. The old LCs used to nip them. Once the clutches stopped slipping, it'd be mad. They had so much power, those things, but it didn't last that long. And Stainless, he tried to do a nice pulp job on my GP 125, and I held the piston, and we was all sitting in red line one night, and I had the piston in my leather jacket pocket, and I just, for some reason, not so gutted, I stuck it out on the table, big hole in it. That's fucking piston, it's so fluffy. Just hope yourself right up with it after. But yeah, stories. So we had the shops, and we had a Woolworths there. We had a pub called the King's Head, which was known locally as the Top House. Going back towards Palmer's End, we had another pub opposite the cemetery called the Plough. So there's 1, the Plough, 2, the Top House, and then you went to the Black Horse, just a few, 100 yards apart on these pubs. The Black Horse, and they had a seafood stall on the front there. You could get cockles, whelks, and smoked haddock. My mum used to get off of it. And you had like Woolworths, Budgeons, Ibbot's Bakery, get donuts in there, stick them in the microwave, lovely. Post office, like Kingston's Butchers, Cross and Herbert's Chemist, all, you know, they was all local businesses, and Secker's the news agent over the road. Oh yeah, the co-op, that's still there, I've delivered it there. And the milkman used to come out here. And so you had Black Horse, and then you had the the library, public library. I was going here, read loads of stuff, and I was keeping it raining. You just go in here with your library card. It's good. And come on, mate, if you're going. See, and so we went past all them shops, and then you got, oh yeah, then the Rose and Crown on the right, and then you had Carratch Lane, Carratch Road, Cedar Avenue, and there's all like a car lot there, and just little petrol station, little old-fashioned one, like blokes come out and serve it. And it was great. Everyone knew each other. People talking everywhere you went. When I was going there knee high to a grasshopper with my mother, she stopped me every 10 feet, talking, oh no, this is, you know what I mean? No, I'm not trying to get home, I'm on one side. Maybe it was on the telly then. Bill and Ben or whatever. And yeah, you had the Rose and Crown. My granddad used to go in there, play darts. And then you go past Carratch, and then you go the Red Lion on the right, which is still going. They have live music in there. And then opposite there was the Harris Club. And then you had the Artic Grill. Oh, Jesus, Artic Grill, what a place! What something like that. And Artic Grill, what a place that was! You just get like massive blowouts. Greek bloke had it. It's just you've never seen so much food in all your life. Really popular Sundays. Licensed bowling. But I was saying, I did go in there. I got older, but he cut down all the portions to you know, miserly levels. You couldn't get like come out there looking like you was like you've been eating cushions. You know what I mean? So and then you went further up past the Red Lion, and then you had the Bell on the left. It's just mad, all these pubs. And that turned in the 80s to Chimes. And then you carry on, and then it's like the White House on the left, the Prince of Wales on the left, the what's it called? What called Turkey Street, the Wheat Sheaf, and there was another one on the right, and this is just like pub, across the road, pub. I mean, you know, well, in the 90s, we used to try and do the Artic Road on a Saturday, you know. And maybe a couple of pubs, and we used to go into an Artic Grill and have a massive blowout and just slaughter it. It was great, you know. Everything was still as it was when we was kids, really. It hadn't changed that much, early 90s. And as you went towards Freezy, you get past Ordnance Road, what do you have there? Right, so you had the Gun and Magpie, that was a good pub. And as you start to come into Waltham Cross, it all started again, tons of pubs, like everywhere. Pubs everywhere. And then if you went left down Baltimore Lane, you had the Bulldog. I used to like that, didn't you? My mate Mark got a piano out of it. He stuck it in the back of my van, outside his house. And we all got pissed up because I used to rent a room off him in the early 90s. We used to go into Southbury, down Southbury Road, slaughtered. Come back one night and thought it was a good idea to get the piano out of my van. We just pulled it out, hit the fucking noise, and Sav was having piano lessons or organ lessons. Go on. This is what happens when they don't take the bus stops into the curb like they used to, Ken Livingston. Probably a good idea to take the recesses out and create the congestion. Anyway, so getting to Waltham Cross, and it all started again. Piano. And we was like, yeah, so like it was this piano in the back of my van, and we pulled it out, it hit the deck, Christ almighty. So all strings stretched around a brass frame, it made a mighty bang. Middle of the night, everyone looking out the windows. This weren't where my mum lived, this was Mark's house. Anyway, so Sav's playing when the Saints go marching in, it's like 3 in the morning. We got it into the house, we couldn't get around the door because it was a narrow Victorian terrace. We just left it in the hallway. Yeah, so that was our high street, and we had Darren and Wayne's mum and dad. They opened up a boozer down there for a lot, and it was brilliant. There was 3 big bars, very popular. Had DJs down there, mega sound systems. It was flash Harry place really, but it was good. You know, it was packed out, very popular. You used to see people I used to go to school with it. You know, it was good. You know, catching up on it. And then they built out a cabaret club out the back, you know, dance floor. And it was great. It was all stuck off the telly. Des O'Connor, he's just recently died. He used to go down there quite often. I'd see him. I was sort of stuck there back the door one night, and he was standing on the table singing to all the ladies. You know? That's the sort of place it was. It was good. Community. Yeah, so we all grew up together from the age of, I suppose we all started getting mates around about, well, some of us earlier than others, but yeah, sort of in the mid-70s. We all had Lionels and stupid haircuts. My mother used to cut my hair because she was so tight, and pudding bowls, basins. It was horrendous. Just go to school and fringe up here, but she bodged it, just keep redoing it until she could know how to do. Go on, you'll be alright. And even the teachers used to laugh. But you know, that's sort of upbringing. I just had it got a laugh and cry, wouldn't it? And it used to grow out sometimes, and then she'd straighten it. So it was horrendous. It was like she's doing the old man's here, wouldn't let us go to the barbers. It's very, very Scottish parents. And yeah, school. So yeah, she bought me 5 shirts for my secondary school on the way home from a caravan holiday in Cornwall in an old Mini that we had. We used to go down there about 55, 60. That he didn't like putting the old engine under too much of a strain. So it used to take us all day, and we stopped at Exeter on the way home. And she took me in Littlewoods and bought me these great big shirts, right? And I said they're too big, and she adjusted them up. She was a seamstress. She had her own. I was going to say washing machine then, sewing machine. And she messed around with all, you know, she could do all that stuff. She still does it now. And I had them 5 shirts for 5 years. And when I left school, everyone used to sign their shirts, didn't they? All my collars were completely threadbare, it was worn out. 5 years of me living in them. I think I had 3 shirts for the week. And I come home with all graffiti all over them. She clapped me around the head, saying there was nothing wrong, there was a good shirt though. And I was knackered. And the cuffs were anyway, so that was kind of like my mum. Bless her heart. Still about in her 80s now. So I'll that's us. So it's me, Jock, Sav, Marky, Beam.
I'm listening.
You can shut your mouth, I don't talk to you. Right, off. And a Gary, Paul, Stainless, they come a bit later, Stainless. And then there was loads of others, like, you know, if I say their names, I don't really want to say their names because it's, you know, internet and all that, you know what I mean? But it's all round Enfield, and we knew there's loads of people. Lee, Kizza, bless him, another one ain't here. Kev, he ain't here either. And they all knew each other, bless them, they all went to each other's funerals. It's tragic, that is. But, you know, there was Kizza first, Kev second, Gary third, and Steve fourth. And they all, I can remember every one of them going up through them. It was tragic. Car accidents. No, I don't want to get on with that too much because I want to make this. You've got to look back. You don't want to look back like melancholy in your art. You just want to look back and trying to think of all the good times. It's nostalgia thing. It's not very popular on Facebook. You know? Everyone's getting into it. There's memories and that, and you see all these old photos and stuff. It brings it all back because you do forget how an area looks. When you see like you go driving down the road and there's a building been knocked down because you ain't been there for ages, and you think, oh, I can't even remember what was there then. And it's like, oh, other people get that. That's just me. I've got, like my mates say, I've got an elephant memory. Right, because I never forget things. But I do. I'm 55 now, and I can't remember much about what happened yesterday. Well, I can actually. That's another story. Okay. But yeah, you do. The harder I work, the more active my mind gets. The more active my mind gets, the more the memories just come slamming in. They just come in, and one after another, another after another after another. It's mental. It's steep being up here. It's crowded. It's bad, isn't it? But I mean, I can remember it all, and getting chased by the old bill and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to I'm going to sit down and work out not too much, but I just want to try and put some memories together rather than, or should I just do them random? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to sign this one off. Thanks for, if you're still here, thanks for not being so bored. And I could do with a bit of help and encouragement if anyone watches this. And if you got like issues with me saying things, then bring them up. I'm not going to mention surnames, and I'm not going to mention anything that gets us into trouble. All right, ta-ra.